Hey, welcome back. I am Steph and you are just in time because we are about to make a vegan crème brûlée. Crème brûlée. Crème brûlée. Anyway, don't show that to my French teacher, please. The great thing about this recipe is that this is one of the few times where the vegan version is actually easier than the regular version. Usually the vegan version is so much more complicated than the original, but not this one. This one you just throw everything in a pot. It's simple. It's so simple that I have to stop myself from making it all the time and putting myself into a sugar coma. Yeah. But this is for a video, so you know, it's acceptable. And you guys are gonna help me eat it, right? So before we get started, we're gonna need a few things. We're gonna need four 4-ounce ramekins or creme brulee dishes. We're gonna need a small kitchen torch and some butane to fuel the kitchen torch. All of these things, they might not be super easy to find, so I will put links in the description below where you can purchase these things. And I will also put a link, as usual, to the recipe, which is on my website, in the description below. So let's get started. We're gonna start over on the stove with a medium saucepan. Before I turn on the heat, I'm gonna add all the ingredients. We're gonna start with 1 can. This is a 13.5 ounce can of full fat coconut milk, a 1/4 cup of sugar, 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, 4 teaspoons of nutritional yeast, a tablespoon of vanilla, 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt, and 1/8 of a teaspoon of turmeric. If you don't have turmeric, it's not essential. It doesn't really do much to the flavor. It's really just there for color, so you can skip it if you don't have it. So I'm gonna whisk everything up. Try to get it as smooth as you can before you turn on the heat. Especially you wanna make sure that there are no clumps of cornstarch in there. I'm using a milk frother here to make it a little easier, but you can also use an immersion blender or a whisk, whatever you have. Now you want to turn the heat to medium-high and bring it to a slow boil. Keep stirring the whole time. Once it reaches that slow boil, you want to turn the temperature down and let it simmer for a couple minutes until it's thickened. Next, we're going to pour the custard into the ramekins. We want to do it kind of quickly before the custard thickens up. So now I'm just gonna let these cool at room temperature for about 30 minutes. Then I'm gonna cover them, put them in the refrigerator, and they can chill there for a minimum of 2 hours, but you can leave them for several hours or until you're ready to serve them. Whenever you're ready to serve your creme brulee, you can take it out of the refrigerator as long as it's been a couple hours. So take it out of the refrigerator, let it stand at room temperature for about 5 minutes. Then you're gonna put a thin layer of sugar on top of each one and make sure it's spread around evenly. It'll depend on the size of your ramekin, how much sugar you're gonna use, because if you have a creme brulee dish, it's actually wider than it is tall. So you're gonna need more sugar if you have a regular creme brulee dish, but should be anywhere from 1/2 tablespoon to a tablespoon per dish. Now I'm gonna use my kitchen torch to melt the sugar. You don't want to get too close to the sugar with the flame or you're going to end up with burnt sugar. So you basically just want the very tip of the flame to be touching the sugar, and you want to move the flame around and don't keep it in one spot. You basically want the sugar to just melt and turn golden brown in color. So to melt the whole top, it'll probably take about 2 to 3 minutes. So have patience, take your time so you get caramelized sugar and not burnt sugar. So after you've melted the sugar, you can just let it stand for a minute or two for the sugar to harden, and then that's it. It's ready to serve. All right, well, that's it for this one. Thank you for watching. If you want more vegan recipes, hit subscribe, and I'll see you next time. I know I said you could have some,